My name is Dorothy Jean Hargrove. I am 103 years old, and I need you to stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you, I have never told a single living person, not my children, not my pastor, not one soul, until today. I was born in 1921 in a farmhouse outside of Meridian, Mississippi. My daddy grew cotton and my mama raised 7 children on a prayer and $2 a week. I was the third child, the stubborn one. Everybody said so. The one who asked too many questions in church and got the look from my mother. That meant, hush, girl, before God hears you being difficult. I am not difficult anymore. I am just honest. At 103 years old, you stop having the energy for anything except the truth. I want to tell you how I died. Not almost died. Not nearly died. Died. My heart stopped for 8 minutes and 31 seconds on a Wednesday afternoon in February of 2015 in a hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was 94 years old. I had been admitted for pneumonia, the stubborn, deep kind. My youngest daughter, Patricia, was in the chair beside my bed, doing a crossword puzzle when it happened. She told me later that the monitor just changed its sound, like a sentence that stops in the middle of a word. I did not know any of that at the time, because I was not in that room anymore. Let me tell you who I am so you understand what kind of woman is saying this to you. I was a school teacher for 38 years, 3rd grade, then 4th grade, then back to 3rd because the principal said I had a gift for the difficult ones, the ones who couldn't sit still, the ones who came to school without breakfast, the ones whose eyes told you things their mouths didn't know how to say yet. I was not a soft woman. I was a fair one. There is a difference. I married Thomas Hargrove in 1946. He had just come home from Europe. He was with the 92nd Infantry Division, the Buffalo Soldiers, and he came home with a limp in his left leg and a silence in him that I learned over time to read like a second language. Thomas was not a man who talked about feelings. He expressed love by fixing things, a squeaky door, a leaky faucet, anything in the house that was broken. In 51 years of marriage, I never once had a drawer that stuck. He died in 1997. Pancreatic cancer. 6 weeks from diagnosis to burial, and in those 6 weeks he never once said he was afraid, and I never once told him I was terrified. We were from a generation that held things steady. You gripped the side of the boat and you did not let the water see you panic. After Thomas died, I taught for 3 more years, and then I stopped. I raised my grandchildren on some days, and on other days I sat in my garden and talked to my tomato plants. I have buried friends. I have buried one of my children, my son Robert, at 59, a heart attack, 2008. That is a grief I will not pretend to explain. Some things don't have words wide enough to hold them. I believed in heaven, but I want to be honest. I believed in heaven the way you believe in a country you have never visited. You are sure it exists. You have seen pictures, but you do not know what it smells like, what the air feels like on your skin. Now I know. I was standing in my backyard. Not the backyard as it is now, the small one at Patricia's house. My backyard. The one on Clement Street in Charlotte. The one with the big oak tree that Thomas planted from a sapling the year Robert was born. The vegetable garden along the left fence. The back porch with the 3 wooden steps. The light was different. Not brighter exactly. Cleaner. Like how the world looks after a heavy rain, when everything has been rinsed and the colors are sharper. Thomas was sitting on the back porch steps. He did not have the limp. I noticed that immediately. He was sitting easy and loose with his forearms resting on his knees. He was wearing the blue work shirt, the one I washed so many times the collar went soft as cloth can go. He looked like himself in his fullness, the version of him that I had loved most. He looked at me the way he always looked at me when I came out onto that porch on a Sunday morning with 2 cups of coffee. like he had been waiting, and the waiting was over. I wanted to go to him, and then I heard it. Robert. My son Robert was in the garden. He was crouching in the tomatoes, and he looked up at me and smiled his father's smile, the one I thought I had lost when I lost Thomas. I did not know Robert had inherited it until that moment. My mother was there, my daddy, my sister Evelyn, Clara, all of them. All of them in that backyard, just existing in a peace that I have tried 1,000 times since to describe, and cannot. The absence of everything wrong. There was no suffering there. This world has suffering layered into everything. Even the beautiful moments have the shadow of their ending. That place had no shadow, not because it was dark, because there was nothing to cast one. Thomas stood up from the steps. He walked toward me and he stood in front of me and put his hand on my face, just his palm against my cheek. He did not say anything. He did not need to. 51 years of marriage teaches you that some conversations happen below language. Then he shook his head, slowly, once. That shake of his head meant, not today. Robert looked up from the garden. He was smiling still, but he nodded. The same message from my son. Not today, Mama. The backyard started going quiet around the edges, the way afternoon light does in October. My mother smiled at me, and I understood. Now you see, I did not want to leave. I simply understood that I was going back, and I had the choice to carry what I had seen back with me like something cupped in both hands, something you do not spill. I woke up and Patricia was crying in a way I had never heard my daughter cry. She is a composed woman. She gets that from me. And to see her composure just gone undid something in me. I reached for her hand. She held it with both of hers and just said, Mama, just my name, just that. I thought about telling her everything right then, but I thought, not now. Village room. Let her have her mother back first. The rest can wait. I did not tell anyone for 4 years. Not because I doubted it. I have never doubted it, not for a single morning. I spent 38 years teaching children to think carefully and examine evidence. I examined this evidence. I set those arguments aside, out of the specific clarity you have when you know the difference. I have sat with dying people since then, because I knew what it meant to need someone in the room who was not afraid. I have told them, you are going somewhere. The people who loved you are there. And the feeling of that place is the feeling of everyone you ever loved being in the same room, and no one is leaving. People look at me when I say this, because something in them hears that I am reporting a fact. Village room, village room, village room. My daughter Patricia died 14 months ago. She was 71 years old, aneurysm. There, one moment, and then simply somewhere else. People looked at me with that particular careful look. I did not crack. I was broken. Losing a child, even a grown child, is a breaking. You become a different shape, and you go on in that shape, and some mornings the different shape is very heavy. But I knew something. I knew that Patricia was in a backyard in Charlotte. I knew she was walking through the tomatoes toward her daddy. I knew that Robert was there. I knew the light was clean. She did not disappear. She arrived. I am 103 years old. My hands shake. I use a walker. I sleep more than I am awake some days. I know the arithmetic of what that means. I am not afraid. I have a backyard to get back to. I have a husband who is sitting on those steps still, waiting with the patience of a man who always knew that good things required time. I have everyone I have ever lost, in a place where the light is clean. Patricia is there. That is not a wish. That is something I know from standing in the doorway and seeing what is on the other side. Village room, 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 village room. If you are afraid of dying, I want to give you something to hold on to. Not a promise, just a fact. A 94-year-old woman's heart stopped for 8 minutes and 31 seconds. And in that time, she stood in her backyard, and her dead husband walked toward her with no limp, and her dead son smiled at her. 7 years later, she can still feel Thomas's hand on her face. That is what I know. That is everything I know. It is enough. Hold on to whoever you're afraid of losing. They are not gone. They are just in the next yard over, on the other side of a fence that each of us will climb in our own time. And when you get there, they will be waiting. Not sadly, not desperately. The way people wait when they knew you were coming all along.